Day 11 and 12 of Diddy's trial brought us some pretty crazy testimony, including a stylist who actually leaped onto Diddy's back to help protect Cassie, as well as a woman that we're calling Mia, who had some pretty crazy things to say about her experience with this man. First up on the stand, though, was Chris Ignatio. He has been an LA police officer for 16 years. He is the person who responded to the call from Kid Cudi when Diddy broke into his home. Officer Ignatio says when he went into Kid Cudi's home, he witnessed gifts on the table, some open and some not. And as you know, Kid Cudi had testified on the stand that he believed Diddy had opened up the Christmas presents that he had bought for his family. The other thing he noticed was an Escalade out in the yard. He memorized the plate and it went back to Bad Boy Records and Diddy's company. Up next on the stand was a Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator who talked about Kid Cudi's car when the Molotov cocktail was thrown at it. He said that the bottle actually didn't break, and if it had of, there would have been a lot more damage. This is where things got even more interesting. So Diddy's defense tried to get a mistrial at this point because it was revealed by this LAFD officer that some of the fingerprints that were lifted from the trespassing at Kid Cudi's were missing, and Diddy's defense tried to insinuate that this was going to taint the jury to make it look like he tried to discard evidence or get rid of evidence. So they did try for a mistrial. What he said was that Kid Cudi had given them fingerprint cards from the December 2011 burglary, and somehow they were destroyed by police in 2012. At this point, the jury is sent out of the courtroom, and Diddy's attorney says that the feds are trying to plant the idea with these jurors that Mr. Combs had something to do with the destruction of these fingerprints. The mistrial attempt was unsuccessful, and court obviously moved on. Deontay Nash was next on the stand. So he is a stylist who worked for both Cassie and Diddy. He testified that he overheard Diddy numerous times threatening Cassie if she did or said anything he didn't like, that he would ruin or not put out her music career. He also said that he overheard Diddy threatening Cassie's parents one time when they were in a car. Nash said that Diddy actually put hands on him as well. He said they were going to an event. He let Cassie wear her hair down. He thought it looked really nice. Apparently Diddy hated it. And he grabbed Nash by the jacket and threatened him and told him to put her hair up. So he immediately grabbed bobby pins and threw her hair up. He also talked about an incident which Cassie had also talked about on the stand, where Diddy came in, grabbed Cassie by the hair and started kicking and beating on her. And Nash says that he and victim number 4, who is going by the name Mia, tried to jump on Diddy's back to stop it, and they said they just kept getting thrown off. He said it ended with Cassie hitting her head on the corner of a bedside table and splitting her eyebrow. They did show pictures of this in court as well. He went into details about how Diddy had threatened her parents, and it was with Cassie's sex tapes. He was threatening her that he would release these sex tapes if she didn't do what he wanted. And at this point, Nash is trying to make Cassie feel better by saying he's not going to do that. He's on the tapes as well. And that's when Cassie told him, Diddy's not on the tapes, it's me with other men. He also said that Cassie did not want to participate in most of the freak-offs, that she would do it to please Diddy or because she was scared of Diddy, including one time on her birthday where he wanted her to leave her party early to go to a freak-off, and she wanted to go sing karaoke with some girlfriends, and she ended up going with him because she felt she had to. That was the end of day 11's testimony, and day 12 brought us Mia. Mia is victim number 4. She had a lot to say about what happened with her and Diddy, and the judge ruled that no one was going to be allowed to sketch her. So we have no pictures or any knowledge of who Mia actually is. So the woman we're going to be calling Mia was actually an ex-assistant of Diddy's, and she wants to obviously remain anonymous. Now, she got on and said that working for Diddy was chaotic and toxic, but that it could be really exciting. She was quoted as saying, "The highs were really high and the lows were really low. Puff's mood determined the environment. He threw things at me, threw me against the wall, threw me in the pool. He's thrown something against my head, sexually assaulted me." She then said that he sexually assaulted her on more than one occasion. Mia worked for Diddy from 2009 to 2017. She said that she was about 25 years old when she was hired, and that she ended up working sometimes 5 days in a row with no sleep. She recalled one episode where they were in Vegas and she had no sleep. She said she was on Adderall since she was about 17 years old, and that would kind of help her with the sleep issue, but she was supposed to get $55,000 a year working for him, and he ended up paying her $50,000. This is what she said. She said, "I had a physical breakdown. My hearing went. It felt like I was underwater. My equilibrium was off, blurred vision. Out of nowhere, I was hysterical and could not stop crying. At that point, Puff said she could finally go to sleep." When she traveled with him or stayed at his home, she was not allowed to lock her bedroom door, despite the fact that the male security guards could and would have deadbolts, etc., but she was not allowed. Now, Mia had a big responsibility. She said she was basically in charge of his whole social media career. She said that she was an assistant to him with his social media presence, served as the main liaison between Combs and Hollywood, managed his daily routine, kept him on a schedule, and protected him and his privacy. She said that she had to have her BlackBerry basically glued to her, and she was quoted as saying, "Every single day is different. Can be 17,000 things at one time, range from cracking knuckles, doing taxes, or writing his next movie. He can also have you stand next to him for 24 hours and not ask you to do one single thing." Mia said that she and Cassie became extremely close, almost like sisters, and that the two of them were extremely fearful of Diddy. She actually said that punishment was unpredictable and terrifying if they ever got caught doing something he didn't like. She said Cassie never fought back. She said she saw one terrifying incident where Cassie was basically outside hiding under a bush from him, another time where he split her head open. Mia talked about an incident in 2012 where she said her and Cassie wanted to go to a party at Prince's house and he didn't want to go. So she said the two of them, like teenagers, snuck out of the house and he didn't realize they were gone. This is what she was quoted as saying. She said, "I looked up, I saw his bucket hat coming through the entrance. We locked eyes and crap. Cass and I started running through the house to get out across the yard, trying to run and hide there. Puff caught up with Cassie. He caught up to her and had her and threw her to the ground and started to attack her." She said that Prince's security intervened at this point, and the next day, Mia was notified that she was being suspended without pay for insubordination. She recalled another incident in 2012 when they were in Turks and Caicos, and she said that again, he was fired up and angry and going after Cassie, so they barricaded them into their beach house with furniture and things, and she said Cassie was looking at her and screaming for help, saying, "You have to help me, Puff is going to kill me." Now, Mia said she's usually chill and calm, and she was absolutely terrified. So the two of them dashed out a back door, apparently, got on paddle boards, and they said they fled out into the water. And she said, "The weather shifted dramatically, and the sky turned black. We were both debating. I was trying to weigh if it was scarier to face Mother Nature or go back to Puff. We eventually went back to Puffy." It turns out Mia was also one of the hotel cleaners. It seems this man had a ton of people cleaning up his hotel rooms after he and Cassie finished with them. She said in particular that he would call them hotel nights and they would sometime run for nights at a time. And she said that it was her job to pack him up and unpack his items. She said that he would ask her to bring toiletries, clothes, candles, lotion, baby oil, Astroglide, and condoms. She talked about one night in a London hotel room where she says that she went to the door and Cassie answered, saying that she was in her underwear and she just looked really upset. She said she was struggling. I'd never seen her like that before. So much that I asked her, "Are you okay?" She said, "I'm good," and she closed the door. Mia said that Combs then asked her to clean up the room, and he said to wipe up enough of the stuff that housekeepers couldn't clean. She said the state of the hotel room after they were used was a nightmare, destroyed, and really nasty, including candle wax, broken glass, water on the floor, sometimes blood, oil on the walls, and wet towels. She also talked about his drug use and said that traveling with him was like being with a traveling medicine cabinet. She said that he was taking ketamine and other drugs, often at inappropriate times. And she recalled one time in particular where he was going to have an appearance, I guess, with Chelsea Handler. Throughout the whole testimony, Mia was getting extremely upset, almost hyperventilating. She was having a really hard time sharing this stuff. She talked about one time where he threw spaghetti at her when he was upset, another time where he tried to throw a computer at her head. She said one time he said that he wanted her to call someone or use her phone to call someone, and so she stayed by him to get the phone back, and then he bolted and tried to lock himself in the bathroom with her phone, and she said she tried to get the phone through the door, like put her arm in, and he was slamming the door on her arm repeatedly. Mia then had to talk about some of the sexual assault situations. She said she remembers the first time, it was his 40th birthday. She said that he kissed her and put his hand up her dress, and she said she was completely in shock. In 2009 or 2010, she said she was sleeping on the bottom bunk when she was woken up by him getting on top of her. She said that he sexually assaulted her. She didn't want it. She told him no. She said it was over very quickly, but again, she was not allowed to lock her bedroom door. Another time he came out of his closet with his penis out and forced her head down to perform oral on him. She said it happened so quickly. She said there were other incidences, but she cannot recall them at this time. That was the end of trial for today. I'm going to be reporting on day 13. Make sure you hit follow.